Present in Flint Township.
We're all here.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, are there any additions?
The one addition was sent out earlier today and the trustees should have received it.
Thank you. I don't think there are any other additions or deletions to the agenda. Are there any corrections to the minutes from the regular board meeting? Any corrections?
Maybe should be done along with the advice of the road commission and a monitoring committee accomplishes with all the work for the betterment of the Flint Township. I'd like to thank for their hard work. I'm sure you did business in the professional manner and fulfilling your elected duty, your hard work. The last topic I want to address, this is an issue that I feel compelled to address as I've attended person and Zoom recently. And something that always bothers me as a township resident is the following. The board will hold discussions on agenda items, paying the bills, or other topics. When in the discussion portion of the motion.
And they asked that I read the letter.
I received that today. And did all the trustees get a copy of that now?
No.
No? Okay. After you read it, can you make sure they all get a copy, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Did they give their name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Flint Township Board of Trustees, I am writing in favor of this crucial position being filled in the clerk's office. As I am sure some of you will remember that I worked for 25 years plus as the deputy clerk of Flint Township, and I am telling you firsthand how needed this position is. When I worked there, the clerk always had 2 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee working for the clerk. In fact, during the late Loretta Manwaring's tenure during the early 90s, we had 3 full-time employees. That was 30 years ago. Since then, the population has increased along with the level of the workload. Get board to do what is in the best interest of the township and authorize this position be filled immediately. Person, CMC, Flint Township resident.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the board during public comment? I don't see any more. And so we will move on to reports. And I don't have a report per se, except to let the board know that Mike Pfeiffer will assist us in submitting the road projects to the road commission so that they will be put out for bid. And we will go with the lowest qualified bidder, and we'll have information when that comes back. And I noticed that Commissioner Clemens is on our Zoom call again. And I just wanted to say thank you very much. I think that's a record. So I thank you for taking the time, Dominic, to sit through our meetings. Sometimes they're long. Sometimes you may be lost when you're listening, but when did you start? In January? So no, when were you? Yep. January? You've sat in more county, you as a county commissioner have sat in more meetings than anyone else, I think, that I can recall. So I just appreciate your commitment and look forward to representation for our township on the county commission board. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you.
Forward to representation for our township on the county commission board. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you all for the work you're doing.
Thank you. That's my report.
Miller. Supervisor Miller?
Yeah, yes.
Before you move on, do you want to mention the Myosha call again? I kind of like the public to know that contains.
Call from Myosha. That makes call number 5, an anonymous call to Myosha, and the employee remains anonymous. That's their choice. And they called about another employee who is not complying with the mask, wear your mask mandate that's in our policy, that's on the signs on the door. That's we've sent out emails reminding people. We've sent out emails showing how to properly don a face mask, how to properly take care of a face mask. And when I asked the question, who was it, the employee, they wanted to keep that anonymous too. And I said at that point, how in the world am I supposed to fix the situation if I don't know who's violating the policy? So I let him know that we recently had our plan updated, and I will again remind employees that we require when they're not at their desks and they cannot maintain 6 feet of distance, or when they're working with the customers, to please properly wear your mask. And I know Kevin, Chief Salter, and I worked on an addendum to the policy that applied to exemptions for first responders. So I told him I'd get it out a little while ago. I didn't. I will get it out tonight after the meeting, so they'll have it first thing in the morning. But I just want to remind any of the trustees, residents, employees that you can always come to us, best to accommodate any requests, especially when it concerns the safety of not only each of our employees, but also the residents who come in, because we're concerned about the health, welfare, and just what's in the best interest of our employees and the residents. So that's number 5. And it was not going to be an in-person, it's over the phone. So I've had 1 in-person investigation and 4 over the phone investigations. And so far we've passed with flying colors. That's my report. Madam Clerk, do you have a report this evening?
I just want Jackie and Angie worked 26 and a half hours on election day, went home, and they came back, and they were back in the office by noon on November 4th. And right now, morale, whether everybody wants to put on blinders or not in our building, as it is in other buildings from what I hear, and those little chinks in the armor there farther. So I would ask things like, they're not busy, or they're not this, or they're not that. We should start applauding our staff for the, especially during trying times like my staff went through, where they were dealing with hundreds of people a day that could be walking in with COVID and they didn't know, and putting themselves at risk. But I just want to let everyone know that
the township, the police department, and just draw closer. And then also you mentioned, is there anything that we could do to assist the police department? Maybe a fundraiser or something fun. We talked about, we already have the National Night Out. Did I sum it up, Trustee Campbell?
That was perfect. Thank you.
Oh, sure. So thank you for reaching out, and we'll move forward with another meeting to see how we can proceed.
Great.
Trustee Vert, did you have a report for us this evening?
It's a little different this year. I thought they were going to start this Friday the 5th, and we've already backed up a week, so we have to move appointments. But those fill up in about 10 days. I mean, they're that popular, you want to say? But yeah, we're full, and not every senior center does them. So those have all been filled.
And then if a senior in the township would like to call this, if they can't get through to the county, they can call the senior center and try and get an appointment for
the vaccine.
COVID shot. Yeah.
Well, what it is we take their name, their address, zip code, phone number, and birth date, and that goes down to the county. And we do ask them not to be put on any other lists, because that just confuses the system a little bit. And right now, there's people that are going to Lake Fenton and getting appointments. They'll get a call in 2 to 3 days. Other people have been on the list for now a month. So it's working the way it is, but people are getting vaccinated in Genesee County.
Great.
Yep.
All righty. Did you have anything else in your report, Trustee Vert?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Thanks. Staff report. Chief Salter, do you have a report for us?
Thank you. Excuse me. It's Monday. Your police.
We did have American Freight has now opened. They went in between where Gander Mountain used to be and Ollie's. So they are open for business now. And then also we had National Airport. They had the unveiling of the Rosie the Riveter statue. So that's great. She joins Chrysler and Nash are the other 2 statues that we have there. So that's great. And then on the item I have on the agenda, I did have to make one change on that. So when it comes to that, then I'll mention it then.
on call in the time
Okay.
being.
So in order to approve the tentative agreement, a motion is a budget amendment of $4,000 for the line item for uniforms.
Clee would move that we accept the tentative agreement with the Flint Charter Township of Flint and the on-call firefighter department, along with the amendment that Chief Salter has requested of $4,000 to help to pay for the cost of the uniform allowance for the dress, pants, boots, necessary coat and insignias for each of the individuals to be suited and dressed properly when they are attending a special events and those types of, and unfortunates if we have funerals as well.
Funk will second.
So just for formality's sake, the name of the on-call union, isn't it Firefighters, Fire Officers Association of Michigan, is FOAM? Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are. And
Yeah, great.
Mr. King, aren't you the representative for that union? Yes? Name right. All righty. So we have a motion, we have a second, and motion's gonna include a budget amendment for uniforms in the amount of $4,000. Any questions or discussion? Trustee Vert?
Yes, like the other contracts that have come before us before, I am gonna vote no due to our budget and the lack of the revenue that's come in this past year. I was hoping that we would not have to do any bonuses for the signing of the contracts this year. So I will be voting no.
Is there any further discussion? No? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, roll call please on the tentative agreement with FOAM on-call firefighters in Flint Township with a budget amendment of $4,000 for uniforms.
Miller,
Yes.
Mrs. Funk, yes. Mr. Clee,
Yes.
Ms. Campbell,
Yes.
Mrs. Vert,
No,
Mrs. Fafdal,
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Action item D.
Business as Gordon to SE LLC. And in your packet, it said they had an error in their letter that they had sent us. And I just heard back to her about 5 minutes before the meeting. I had noticed that the letter asking for the transfer listed as STNJ2, but then they signed it as STNJ3. She did contact me and verified that it's STNJ3 LLC. And I did, I was able to talk to the State Tax Commission, and they said that all we needed was the resolution that they would like just to have them fill out a form that shows their name, may send that form out to Ms. Powers. And I should have that, if she hasn't already emailed it to me now, I should have it in the morning.
And I saw that you forwarded Beth the portion that the township needs to have filled out. So this should happen relatively smoothly. If there's no other explanation, we can have a motion to move forward, please.
Clerk Funk moves that we approve the transfer of the commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate from Sinorama doing business as D&G Signs to STNJ3 LLC.
Is there a second to the motion?
Fafdal will support.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion? We're getting this handled. I appreciate it. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call please on the motion to approve the transfer of commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate. Roll call please.
Mrs. Funk, yes. Mr. Clee,
Yes.
Ms. Campbell,
Yes.
Mrs. Vert,
yes,
Mrs. Fafdal,
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson, Ms. Miller.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. And I did reform. I do have it here now. Thank you.
Great. So are there any announcements, Madam Clerk?
Our next board meeting will be held February 15th, 2020 at 6 p.m.
Alrighty. Just a quick update. I think this is our third, we have 6 unions in the township. This is the third union that we've come to a tentative agreement with. We keep you tuned in. And hopefully, Mrs. Tucker, the next meeting maybe, or the meeting after, the projects that were supposed to be finished along with Linden Creek Parkway, they will be starting construction in May, but then there's 2 more groups, 2 more project groups, and we'll get an update from you. I spoke with Mike Pfeiffer, and things are going to be bid out, and some stuff's going to have to come back to the board. So we'll talk about that more later.
I'll try to get a timeline from.
Whether that's at the next meeting or the following, I know you hear something. Okay.
Sure.
Alrighty. If there's no objection and if there's no further business or without objection, we'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you.